Jaguar Type 0, an original work of art, as Jaguar says, and what I say, this is a great marketing campaign and a great beginner tutorial when it's come to the 3D modeling. Hello everyone, welcome to Somehow I Design. This is Yunus Emre Alcıoğlu, and today we will be modeling Jaguar Type 0. Well, when we look at the car, this is quite interesting and people were really shocked and surprised about it because we see a huge DNA shift by Jaguar. I'm not sure which product will follow after this prototype, but yeah, we can say this is a huge and bold shift when it comes to the DNA. But as a designer, I guess we should have a look at it in a more holistic way and try to understand the brand's aim and the strategy when it comes to the positioning itself in the market, which is rapidly shaping. And it's clear that people will be talking about it for a while. And let's go to our main topic with that being said, which is create 3D model of this car. Well, this is the pretty much the results what I have here, what I ended up with at the moment. And as you can see here, I'm just trying to make it look good for the introduction of the video. And you see on the bottom of the screen, I have created a new shelf and name it as a subdivision, and I have drag and drop the most of the tools that I used when it comes to the subdivision tab under the palette on the left hand side, and some of the peak tools as well. There are some options about the peak tools too. I have imported the most I used, and this is the end result that we are going to be arriving at the end of the series. I'm just trying to create some hero shots for the video, to be honest, in here. And please consider that I am in the position where I rush myself to create this type of videos, but of course you will be having much better quality of 3D model of yourself because you don't have any rush. Just experiment the tools and the methodology with me together in this video, and if you kinda get to the end, please don't forget to share your results with me. Maybe we can have a look at it together in another video. And yeah, the thing is, the images that I have imported from the internet is just the perspective views of the car. It's not orthographic, so we are just kind of approaching that as a sketch or design direction at all. And I have imported one subdivisional cylinder, and I am trying to place it on the space by looking at the hero shots. First thing first, it is better to import cylinders for the wheel lips, and the creation of the wheel lips is pretty much the first thing that we do when modeling a car, let's say. Right now I am trying to match the CV layout with the image, but later on you will see, since this side view photo behind is not an orthographic view, and which there is no any technical information or blueprints on the internet, the overall proportion will seem a little bit odd than the car. And yeah, after seeing that, we also fix it in a easy way thanks to the subdivisional modeling tools compared to the NURBS modeling, surface modeling. It's just easier to make that big volumetric change. But yeah, as you can see here, we are trying to replicate the wheel lips from the side view and the top view. Since top view is not the orthographic as well, we are a little bit struggling with it, but no worries. It's just a little bit of CV massaging, moving on the axis. So this tutorial won't be like, I'm not considering you guys as a very beginner. I consider you have some certain experience, since this is not my first video on YouTube. hopefully you watched the previous ones as well. And yeah, let's say I'm expecting you to navigate on the spaces in a better way, and not like a total beginner, but some certain level of understanding how Alias works will help you through this video. Yeah, I have, as you can see, imported a subdivisional plane and trying to mimic the side view according to the hero shot, which this technique will be the same through the video. Since we are trying to get the design closer to the image, we are just trying to mimic the important lines, let's say, that we see on the photos, which is in here is a shoulder line, and shoulder line is gonna be fading out from the front wheel arch and the rear wheel arch, and at the moment I'm trying to mimic the belt line. The key is here. No, I have used crease tool down on the rocker panel. What this crease tool is doing is just making that CV hole is sharper, so it's a sharp edge we can kind of read between. So the important thing in here to consider, guys, is to work with the minimum amount of the CVs first. Try to avoid adding too many rows when you don't need it, so it kind of messes up with the topology. One of the good benefits of the subdivisional modeling in Alias is that you can also create the NURBS. You can also use the NURBS tools as well. As you can see here on the screen, I have created a simple plane as a surface, and I am kind of shaping it according to the wheel lip. And now I am aligning. I use align surface tool on the subdivisional palette, which is like you select the CVs that you want to get aligned, and then you select the surface, which is a mathematical surface, since I use the NURBS one, so that it kind of lays down in a better way. I have added one more CV row to kind of mimic the arc of the belt line. And as I see here, like from the side view it kind of looks good, but when we go to the top view, it's kind of little bit far away from the image. It is only because of the images are not orthographic. So actually this is a good example of doing a sketch model, because when you are designing certain stuffs, you don't have any blueprints and technical drawings and so on. Yeah, you just have the render images, sketch images. You import your designs into the 3D software, and you try to mimic the results that you had on 2D plane, and you are trying to get that more or less the same idea on the 3D plane. So this is why this setup is an important case study, let's say, which we don't have any blueprints and so on. It's a little bit challenging than it seems, actually. I use side extender tool to create additional surfaces from the patch layout, from the subdivisional patch layout. And from time to time I go to the box modeling, which you can find it under the diagnostic shader menu, which is Ctrl B in my hotkeys. Sometimes I hit Ctrl B and go to the box mode to see this, to see those subdivisional bodies, to understand them in a much easier way, because when you are kind of smoothing out the surface, you may miss some points. Yeah. And the another thing is about the subdivisional model is to create squares or rectangular patch layout. If you have triangle or more than that, 5 edges or 6 edges. It is not good for the subdivisional topology. It's supposed to have 4 sides max, so that it's kind of clean topology. Yeah, we are getting closer to the side view, step by step. You don't need to be perfectionist in one go, because it takes time to understand it in a 3D environment. Even though you kind of match the surfaces in 2D, it may vary on the certain angles. You may not be satisfied with it, which in this case I am trying to get the overall proportions correctly in the first go, but yeah, you get the point. Trying to get the front overhang here. The thing is, I have deleted the I used cut tool to create some certain distance between the mirrored grid, center grid, and then I have duplicated the object to the on the y-axis, and then created bridge between the holes, so that in this way you will have the better symmetry align, better than positioning CVs on the center of the grid and then opening up the mirror symmetry mirror plane from the object lister. Yeah, this method is the proper method actually when you are doing subdivisional modeling. Never put the CV row right in the middle of the plane, right in the middle of the grids, let's say XYZ axis. In certain cases, sometimes the x-axis is the mirror plane, the y-axis or y-axis is the mirror plane. In this case, yeah, I'm trying to capture the front overhang as much as possible. And working with the subdivisional model is quite tricky actually. It's trickier than it seems, but once you get used to it, you get faster and faster. I use cut tool over there, and then I change my mind. I'm just pulling some CVs, replicating the side view. This is like 4 or 5 tools between. It's like extend tool, crease tool, cut tool, of course. Yes, some basics of the subdivisional surfaces like a cylinder and planes, and probably the weld tool, weld and unweld, because when you want to connect subdivisional bodies between as one, you gotta use weld tool. And the simple methods of the CV massaging, it's just moving on the Y and X and Z axis. Pretty much the case in this tutorial. We are getting, yeah, we got really closer from the top edge actually. Let's create the rear in this case. As you can see, I treat bodies in a different way. I'm not tend to create everything connected as a first place. I create disconnected subdivisional body layouts, as you see here on the roof. This is a disconnected surface from the rest of the bodies that we created, and I'm just trying to mimic the design as always, and then later on I will be connecting these two different bodies together. So this method will kinda give us in a much better controlling over the model, because once you are trying to make everything connected and you are creating every subdivisional body connected with the previous ones, you find yourself in a very tough spot fixing those subdivisional connections. It's just can be really messed up. So in this case we can control them in a much more accurate way. It is sometimes good to act, good to approach to the model in this way. Yeah, we have created the windshield as well. Once we shade it out, it looks actually okay. I mean, we don't even need to connect those two bodies together at the moment, because as a visually we are getting closer to somewhere. Yeah, you see, this is a pretty much like a NURBS approach. You try to measure every part of the car one by one, and then you try to connect them together. This is pretty much the same method when it goes to the subdivisional modeling, and this method will kind of fastens your processes. I have used Planarize tool over there. Planarize tool as well, one of the tools that I use the most. Yeah, more or less the greenhouse showed itself. I have selected the edges and then use side extend tool, and then I have selected the top edge again and used crease tool to make it sharp as it is in the sketch, and to kind of relax our topology over there. And some basic movements of the snapping options, let's say. I'm just moving some CVs around to match with the design from both sides. So far I was looking at the image from side and top view and get closer as much as possible, but from a certain point we will kind of throwing away those images and only looking at them to get closer on the, let's say, according to what we see from the images. Not like we are not gonna be tracing over from certain point, but for now we are just trying to trace over the image so that we can get the topology as close to that as possible. You see, those subdivisional bodies are not connected. There are two different types of subdivisional bodies over there at the moment, and I have created a curve between, and I used curve align tool under the subdivisional palette. Curve align and SubD surface align tool also I use the most, because I create some curve in general way of Alias, and I use that as a reference, and I say curve align this body, and I individually select the control vertices one by one from the subdivisional body and then align to that curve. Pretty much the same methodology as NURBS modeling. So yeah, you see I have connected that ends and I am shaping accordingly. Didn't even connect it with the wheel arch yet. Rear wheel arch stands there alone, and later on I will be connecting when I am satisfied with the overall shape of the volume. I try to connect it by cutting the subdivisional layouts. At this point I'm trying to add some CVs and position them accordingly to create a connection between. And after the bridge tool that I use to connect these different bodies together, I use crease on top because unless if you don't use crease, they tend to do a transitional smooth surfaces. So I used crease tool to make it sharper so that we can understand the deviation between the surfaces. So in here I have created an extension from the wheel lip, and I select the wheel lip hole and crease it. Now I'm trying to capture the feeling of the wheel arch over there and try to position some certain CVs according to be satisfied with what I have. And yeah, and after that, by looking at the topology of the CV structure, I will cut the main body accordingly, and then I will be welding together the wheel arch and the side body as it goes to the rear overhang, and trying to fix the CVs as much as possible. I mean, it is always better if you are trying to make a clean CV structure. Everything tries to connect each other. There is no unnecessary CV holes and so on. It is easier to control over the model. So I have deleted certain faces, and I am kinda matching these topology together, and I use weld tool to connect the bodies, and I'm just CV snapping at the moment and then using a weld tool. So we have ended up with some certain volume here, and I am thinking it like, how can I get closer to the design? And yeah, as you watch, I can do my outro, guys, and thanks for watching until here. This is gonna be the first part of this series, which I plan to create 4 or 5 parts in total. If you don't like to listen me talking here, you can also go there and watch my time-lapse video as well. But this is gonna be like this one. The rest of the videos is gonna be like this one, me talking and explaining some stuffs that I do and why, meanwhile trying to develop the model together. And yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below what are you thinking about the general design direction of the Jaguar, and let's talk about it. Yeah, see you on the next one. Bye bye.